2025 is here, and here's the truth. Nobody's coming. Not a boss, not a mentor, not a lucky break. If you keep waiting for someone to hand you your dream, you'll waste another year. This isn't about them. This is about you, because you don't owe the world. You owe it to you. Think about it. Every promise you've broken, every goal you've delayed, every excuse you've told yourself. It's not the world you robbed. It's you. You've been stealing from your own future. And the debt is still unpaid. 2025 is the year you stop running tabs with your potential and finally pay yourself back. Most people walk through life with this quiet assumption that the world owes them something. They think because they worked hard, they deserve a result. Because they've suffered, they deserve relief. Because they've been patient, opportunity should show up and knock at their door. But life doesn't work like that. The truth is, nobody owes you a single thing. Not your parents, not your friends, not your boss, not your government, not even your partner. The sooner you get that, the sooner you stop being disappointed and start being dangerous. See, disappointment is the gap between what you expect and what you actually get. And most people spend their entire lives disappointed because they expect the world to reward them for effort instead of outcomes. They think showing up earns applause. They think being loyal guarantees security. They think being good should automatically mean they'll win. Wrong. Nobody claps for effort. They clap for results. Nobody pays you for how long you tried. They pay you for what you produced. Nobody cares how much you wanted it. They care whether or not you did it. And this is why so many people feel stuck. Because deep down, they're waiting for recognition, waiting for the perfect chance, waiting for someone to validate them. They're living on the hope that someday someone will notice their value and finally reward them. But if you're waiting, you're losing. Every second you spend waiting for the world to give you something is a second you could have spent building it yourself. The truth is brutal. Nobody owes you encouragement when you're tired. Nobody owes you motivation when you're burned out. Nobody owes you understanding when you're struggling. People are too busy fighting their own battles to worry about yours. And if you can't learn to move forward without the applause, without the cheerleaders, without the handouts, you'll think about it. The most successful people didn't get where they are because someone handed them a golden ticket. They didn't sit around waiting for someone to see their potential. They acted like the world owed them nothing, and that forced them to create everything. When you believe nothing is owed to you, you stop being entitled and you start being empowered. Because now you don't expect help. You don't expect shortcuts. You don't expect anyone to care more about your dream than you do. That shift changes everything. Suddenly, every problem is your responsibility. Every delay is your fault. Every failure is your lesson. And because you stop outsourcing blame, you start taking control. You stop saying, why isn't this happening for me? And start asking, what am I not doing yet? You stop begging for chances and start creating opportunities. You stop needing someone else to open the door and start building your own. Here's the kicker. Once you actually accept that nobody owes you anything, you become unstoppable. Why? Because nothing surprises you. You expect the obstacles. You expect the resistance. You expect the silence. And instead of whining about it, you prepare for it. You go in with the mindset that you'll build your own momentum, fuel your own fire, and carve your own path. That's when people start noticing. That's when opportunities appear. Not because you sat around waiting, but because you made yourself impossible to ignore. So if you're walking into 2025 thinking that this year owes you a breakthrough, you're already setting yourself up for failure. The year owes you nothing. Life owes you nothing. Nobody is coming to hand you the success you're dreaming of. You either take it or you don't. You either show up without needing validation, or you waste another year waiting for applause. That's never coming. Nobody owes you anything. And the moment you accept that, it all finally becomes possible. Discipline is the price you pay for every dream you have. And the truth is you owe it to yourself. You don't owe it to your parents. You don't owe it to your boss. You don't owe it to strangers watching online. You owe it to you. Discipline is not punishment. It's freedom. It's the bridge between what you say you want and what you actually have. Without it, your dreams stay stuck in your head. With it, they become real. Here's what most people miss. Discipline is not about motivation. Motivation is temporary. It's emotional. It's like a sugar rush. It feels good for a moment, then it's gone. Discipline is different. Discipline is a contract you sign with yourself that says, I will show up no matter how I feel. It's doing the thing you said you would do long after the excitement has left. And if you can't keep that contract with yourself, you'll never trust yourself. That's why so many people feel stuck. Not because they lack opportunity, but because they don't believe their own words anymore. Think about it. Every time you set a goal and quit halfway, you're teaching yourself not to believe in you. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you're proving to yourself that your promises mean nothing. And when you don't trust yourself, why would you expect the world to trust you? Discipline rebuilds that trust. Discipline is proof. Every rep, every late night, every early morning, it's proof that you're serious. It's proof that you're not just talking. It's proof that you can count on yourself. But here's the hard part: discipline feels unfair. It feels heavy. It feels like suffering in the moment, waking up when you want to sleep, working when you want to scroll, eating clean when junk food is calling your name. It feels like punishment. But that's the trick. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Every act of discipline is a deposit in the future you say you want. Every time you show up when it's inconvenient, you're investing in the life that future you will thank you for. On the flip side, every time you skip, every time you slack, every time you say, not today, you're stealing from yourself. You're robbing your future self of strength, of opportunity, of freedom. Imagine that. Every time you avoid the pain of discipline, you choose the pain of regret. And regret always costs more. 2025 won't reward you because you wanted it bad. It won't reward you because you posted about it online. It won't reward you because you set another New Year's resolution. It will reward you if, and only if, you have the discipline to execute day after day, long after the hype has worn off. The world pays people who do the work, not the ones who talk about it. And here's the reality: discipline is not a one-time choice, it's a daily decision. Every day you wake up with two voices in your head. One says, take it easy, you deserve comfort. The other says, get up, you owe yourself better. Which one you feed determines who you become. If you keep feeding comfort, you'll get weaker, softer, more frustrated. If you keep feeding discipline, you'll get sharper, stronger, more unstoppable. You owe yourself discipline because nobody else is coming to enforce it for you. Nobody will drag you out of bed. Nobody will force you to train. Nobody will push you to put in the hours. This is your job, your life, your responsibility. And if you don't do it, nobody will. The truth: success doesn't come down to talent or luck or even intelligence. It comes down to discipline. Who can keep showing up after the motivation dies? Who can keep moving when it's boring? Who can keep working when no one's watching? The ones who do, that's who win. So in 2025, stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for energy. Stop waiting for the perfect mood. You don't need any of that. You need discipline. You owe it to yourself to do the work no matter what. Because if you won't even keep promises to yourself, why should the world keep any promises to you? The biggest lie most people live with is the one they tell themselves. And the worst part, they know they're lying. They know when they say, I'll start tomorrow, they won't. They know when they say, I'm doing my best, they're not. They know when they say, I'm waiting for the right time, it's just fear wearing a mask. The truth is, you don't need to lie to other people to destroy your potential. You only need to lie to yourself. That's enough to kill every dream you'll ever have. You owe yourself the truth. And it's not the fluffy truth you want to hear. It's not the Instagram quote that makes you feel good. It's the raw, ugly, uncomfortable truth that cuts right through your excuses. The truth that says, you're not consistent, you're not focused, you're not disciplined enough yet. That truth stings. But it also saves, because only when you see things as they are can you actually change them. Think about it. If you keep telling yourself you're too busy to go after your goals, then you'll never face the fact that you're wasting hours every day on things that don't matter. If you keep telling yourself you deserve rest when you've done nothing all week, then you'll never face the fact that you've confused laziness for recovery. If you keep telling yourself you'll start when you're ready, then you'll never face the fact that readiness is an illusion. The lies feel safe because they let you stay the same. They protect your ego. They give you excuses. But excuses don't cash checks. Excuses don't get you fit. Excuses don't build businesses. Excuses don't change your life. The truth does. The truth hurts, but it heals. Here's the real danger: when you keep lying to yourself long enough, you stop even believing in the possibility of truth. You normalize failure. You lower your standards. You convince yourself that you're doing better than you are, and that's why you never push harder. Because why would you? You already believe your own excuses, and then you wake up 10 years later wondering why nothing's different. You owe it to yourself to face reality head on, to look in the mirror and stop sugarcoating, to ask yourself the hard questions: am I really giving it my all, or am I coasting? Am I actually putting in the work, or am I just pretending? Am I chasing my goals, or am I just chasing distractions? Those questions aren't comfortable. They expose you, but they also free you. Because once you own the truth, you can do something about it. If the truth is you're lazy, then you can get disciplined. If the truth is you're distracted, then you can cut the noise. If the truth is you're scared, then you can face the fear. The truth doesn't lock you down, it gives you the keys to break free. In 2025, the most valuable gift you can give yourself isn't money or comfort or motivation. It's honesty, brutal honesty. The kind that strips away all the excuses and leaves you staring at reality. Because once you're honest with yourself, nobody can stop you. You can't be manipulated by comfort. You can't be slowed down by doubt. You can't be trapped by your own lies. Here's the bottom line. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is filled with lies. And the only way to close it is with truth. You owe yourself the truth even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, because pain is feedback, and feedback is how you grow. So stop lying, stop pretending. Stop telling yourself stories that make you feel better but keep you stuck. In 2025, tell yourself the truth, even if nobody else does, because the truth will set you free, but first, it will make you uncomfortable. And that's exactly what you need. Every year people talk about fresh starts. They love the idea of new beginnings, clean slates turning the page. And maybe that's why you look at 2025 like it's some kind of magic reset button. But here's the truth, it is a reset button, but not in the way you think. It doesn't erase your mistakes. It doesn't delete your bad habits. It doesn't wipe away your failures. What it does give you is the chance to stop dragging them forward. 2025 is your chance to stop repeating the same cycles that stole last year from you. The reset button doesn't change who you are. It gives you permission to change who you've been pretending to be. It's not a miracle. It's a decision. A decision to stop recycling the same excuses, to stop replaying the same patterns, to stop reliving the same failures. Because if you don't reset now, you're not starting a new year. You're just extending the old one. And the truth is, you already know what that feels like. Think about the last 5 years. How many times have you promised yourself things would be different? How many times have you said, this year is my year? And then what? 2 weeks in, the old habits creep back. The motivation fades. The excuses return. And before you know it, December looks just like January. That's not a reset, that's a rerun. That's living the same year over and over again and calling it a life. But a reset is different. A real reset says, I'm done recycling who I was. I'm done carrying last year's laziness, last year's excuses, last year's failures into this year. It's choosing to cut the weight you've been dragging and finally run free. 2025 is giving you the button, but you've got to press it. Nobody can press it for you. Here's the catch: pressing reset costs you. It costs comfort. It costs identity. It costs the stories you've been telling yourself about why you can't. Because the moment you hit reset, those excuses expire. You can't hide behind them anymore. You can't keep blaming the past because you've decided it doesn't define you. You can't keep leaning on old pain because you've decided not to carry it. Reset means responsibility. Reset means starting fresh without dragging the old baggage along. And that's scary, but it's also freedom. 2025 is your reset button. But it's not waiting all year. It's now. Every day you delay, you're proving to yourself that you're not serious. Every day you keep doing what you've always done, you're pressing play on the same script. And the question is, how many more reruns are you willing to live through? How many more years are you going to burn before you finally say, enough? The power of the reset is that it gives you permission to redefine yourself, to stop saying, I'm just not consistent, and start saying, I'm building consistency. To stop saying, I've always failed at this, and start saying, I'm learning to win at this. To stop saying, that's just who I am, and start saying, that's who I was, but not anymore. That's the power of reset. It allows you to fire the old version of yourself and hire a new one. The truth, most people won't press it. They'll cling to the old because the old is familiar, even if it's painful. They'll spend 2025 in the same habits, the same routines, the same results. And at the end of the year, they'll call it bad luck. But luck has nothing to do with it. It's about pressing reset and living like the past doesn't own you anymore. So here's the deal. 2025 is a reset button. Not for your circumstances, for your choices. Not for your mistakes, for your mindset. And if you press it, if you really press it, you'll finally prove to yourself that you don't have to live another copy of last year. You can write something brand new. But the button won't press itself. It's waiting for you. The question is, are you brave enough to hit it? It's easy to look at your life and blame circumstances. To point at your boss, your parents, your city, your country, the economy, even God, and say, that's why I'm not where I want to be. But let me tell you something that might sting: your results are your responsibility. All of them. The good, the bad, the wins, the losses, every single one. The day you stop outsourcing blame is the day you start building power. Here's the truth: the world doesn't care about your excuses. Excuses don't cash checks. Excuses don't build muscle. Excuses don't grow businesses. Excuses don't create freedom. You can have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both. If you're not where you want to be, it's not because life cheated you. It's because you didn't execute at the level required. That's the part most people don't want to face. They'd rather believe they're unlucky than admit they didn't show up. Think about it. Two people can grow up in the same neighborhood with the same schools, the same obstacles, the same disadvantages. One stays stuck, the other breaks out. What's the difference? It's not luck, it's responsibility. One person blames, the other builds. One says, "The system is against me." The other says, "So what? I'll outwork it." One waits for change, the other becomes the change. Same circumstances, different ownership. When you make your results your responsibility, you stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop waiting for the right time, you stop waiting for permission. You realize nobody's coming, and that's the best news you could ever hear. Because if nobody's coming, then it's all on you. And if it's all on you, then you're in control. That's where freedom lies. But here's the part most people miss: responsibility feels heavy at first. It feels like pressure. It feels unfair. You'll want to say, "But you don't know my story. You don't know what I've been through." And you're right, I don't. But I know this, whatever your story is, carrying it around as your excuse won't change it. Owning it will. Responsibility doesn't mean ignoring your pain. It means refusing to let it define your results. When you take full ownership, your language changes. You stop saying, "I didn't have time," and start saying, "I didn't prioritize it." You stop saying, Nobody helped me," and start saying, "I didn't ask," or "I didn't adapt." You stop saying, "I didn't work out," and start saying, "I didn't make it work." That shift in language sounds small, but it changes everything. Because now you're not powerless, you're in the driver's seat. And when you're in the driver's seat, you can actually change direction. You can course correct. You can accelerate. You can decide where you're going instead of being dragged where life takes you. That's what responsibility gives you: the power to choose and the power to change. Look, 2025 won't magically deliver the results you want. You won't wake up in December with a better body, a bigger bank account, or a stronger mindset just because you hoped for it. You'll wake up with exactly what you built. You'll wake up with the results of your actions or your inactions. The year will give you what you demand from it, and what you demand from it will be determined by what you demand from yourself. Your results are your responsibility. Not luck, not chance, not fate. Yours. And that's the best news you'll ever hear, because it means you can change them. The moment you stop blaming is the moment you start winning. So in 2025, stop pointing fingers. Stop making excuses. Stop giving your power away. Own your results. Every win, every loss, every outcome, it's on you. And once you accept that, nothing can stop you. Because you'll finally realize if it's your responsibility, then it's also your opportunity. The biggest opponent you'll ever face in life isn't your competition. It isn't the economy. It isn't your haters. It's you. It's always been you. The battle has never been external. It's internal. It's the fight between the version of you that wants comfort and the version of you that craves greatness. And that fight happens every single day. Most people think they're being held back by outside forces. They say, "If only I had more money, I'd start. If only I had more support, I'd keep going. If only life wasn't so unfair, I'd be further along." But the truth, you're not losing because of them. You're losing because of you. The enemy isn't out there. It's in here. It's the voice in your head that says, "Take it easy, you've done enough." It's the urge to hit snooze. It's the craving to stay in your comfort zone. That's who you're fighting. Every day, there are two versions of you showing up: the weak one and the strong one. The weak one wants excuses, shortcuts, and instant gratification. The strong one wants growth, discipline, and results. Every decision you make is a vote for one of those versions. Skip the workout. You just voted for the weak one. Push through anyway. You voted for the strong one. Blow your paycheck on something stupid. Weak one. Save and invest it. Strong one. These daily choices decide which version of you wins the war. And here's the scary part: nobody else can fight this battle for you. Nobody can show up inside your head and silence that weaker voice. Nobody can push your body out of bed. Nobody can force you to say no to the things that derail you. That's your fight. That's your responsibility. which means if you lose, it's not because the world was against you, it's because you surrendered to yourself. But here's the good news. If it's you vs you, then the outcome is completely in your control. You don't have to depend on luck or timing or other people's approval. You just have to beat the weaker version of you today, and then again tomorrow, stack enough of those wins, and suddenly you become unstoppable. Because the outside world can't beat you if the inside world is unshakable. Think about the greatest moments of your life, the times you felt unstoppable. They didn't come from beating someone else. They came from beating yourself, from doing what you didn't feel like doing, from pushing when you wanted to quit, from proving to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. That's the victory that builds confidence. That's the victory that creates momentum. That's the victory that no one can ever take away from you. 2025 isn't about competing with anyone else. It's not about proving them wrong. It's not about looking successful on the outside. It's about winning the internal war. Because if you conquer you, nothing else matters. But if you lose to you, nothing else will ever save you. You can make millions and still feel empty if you lose that inner battle. You can win trophies, earn recognition, and still feel like a fraud if you know deep down you didn't beat your weaker self. The greatest freedom in life is mastering yourself. That's when you stop being a prisoner to impulses, moods, or excuses. That's when you stop being tossed around by doubt and start standing tall in discipline. That's when you finally feel unstoppable, because you are. So in 2025, remember this, it's not you vs them, it's you vs you. And the outcome of that fight decides everything else. If you can't conquer yourself, you'll always be conquered by circumstances. But if you can win against the weaker version of you, there's nothing outside that can touch you. You owe it to you in 2025, not to prove them wrong, not to get applause, not to look good online, but because you're tired of betraying yourself. If you lose this year, it won't be because you couldn't. It'll be because you wouldn't. And if you win, it'll be because for once you finally gave yourself what you've always deserved.